Hey guys, it's Nogia Otaku. So this one's gonna be a short one where I talk about 3 couples in anime that I adore, the plot of the anime they feature in, and a little exploration about what makes their relationships great. This isn't going to be in any particular order as I can't really pick from which couple I like better, but here we go. Some spoilers ahead, so proceed with caution. Winry and Edward, Fullmetal Alchemist. Where do I even start? Winry obviously has to go on this list. I mean the first waifu for many watching anime, right? And Edward, one of the OG shonen protagonists with character depth that goes above and beyond. I'll be referencing the Brotherhood anime and the manga here. Fullmetal Alchemist is a fantastic series. The plot goes that the Elric brothers Alphonse and Edward are raised solely by their mother Trisha Elric in the small remote town of Resenbull. After their talented father Hohenheim, a gifted alchemist, abandons the brothers while they are still young. Like father like son, the boys also become curious to alchemy and start to show skill in the practice. Unfortunately, their mother passes away from an illness and are now cared for by their best friend Winry Rockbell and their grandmother Pinnacle. The boys then travel the world to be trained by gifted alchemist Izumi Curtis, and the boys return home to use the impossible taboo art of human transmutation to try to revive their dead mother. As expected, the transmutation goes wrong, and Alphonse's body is obliterated, with Ed losing his left arm and sacrificing his right arm to bring Alphonse's soul back to bind it to a nearby suit of armor. Edward becomes a government-sanctioned alchemist known as the Fullmetal Alchemist, using his positional power to search for the mystified Philosopher's Stone to try to get the original bodies back. If you haven't watched the series by now, I highly suggest watching it. After all that Edward went through, who was the one that through thick and thin stayed by his side? Well, yes, Alphonse, but you know what I mean. Childhood friends growing up almost like a family in the town of Resenbull. These two have been together since forever. After Edward's accident that ended with him losing his right arm and leg, Winry became his personal automail mechanic, although due to both their stubborn personalities, they do argue often. But it's only out of goodwill, and you can see throughout the series that Winry truly cares for Edward from the bottom of her heart, even seeing her traveling long distances to make sure Edward's automail is always in top condition, working tirelessly to make tweaks and improvements that is impossible to do without love for the person you're working for. And her compassion and bright personality reveals itself through the quick friendship she makes with those around her, such as with the Hughes family. The awkward, silly way that Edward confesses to Winry at the end of the series is adorable. Truly a great couple, and I'm glad the series ended with these two together. No better way to end the series than that. Taiga and Ryuji, Toradora. Toradora is a wonderful story about developing adolescent love, sacrifice for friends, and building relationships. We have Takasu Ryuji, a high schooler with a gentle personality, but has a terrifying face that makes him look like a delinquent. He has a crush on Kushiera Minori. One day he has a run-in with the notorious Aisaka Taiga of his school, who has a violent personality and is mean to anyone that crosses her. Taiga has a crush on Kitamura Yusaku. They find out about each other's crushes and try to set up situations to benefit each other, but instead they end up growing feelings for one another. And at the end of the series, we see them become a couple. I really enjoyed the development leading towards the blossoming love of Taiga and Ryuji. An example of such growth is in the famous Christmas episode where Taiga realizes her affection for Ryuji, and realizing that she fears that he and Minori will end up together. This particular episode has it all, to the sacrifice of Minori so that Taiga, her beloved friend, can form a relationship with Ryuji, to the amazing character development of the once feral-like Taiga opening up and realizing her feelings. Scenes in episodes like this lead to a satisfying ending of these two becoming an adorable couple, and it can't get better than that. Nasa and Tsukasa, Tonikawa over the moon for you. I'm a sucker for slice of life, and one with such a cute couple like this is just a treat to watch. A brief synopsis first. Nasa Yuzuki, who is a boy with a complex over his strange name, one day gets smashed by Truck-chan before taking his high school entrance exams. Laying there, thinking this is the end for him, he gets saved by a beautiful girl, Tsukuyomi Tsukasa. She leaves him there after saving him and calling for help, of course. Nasa himself uses pure strength as he is gravely injured to follow her, as he does not want to miss the opportunity to ask such a beautiful girl to be his girlfriend, believing this is fate. He ends up finding strength to ask her, and Tsukasa obliges, but only if he agrees to marry her. He then passes out, and next thing you know, he is alone in the hospital. Tsukasa heals in the hospital. He decides not to go to high school. Time passes and he becomes 18, and still remembers the promise he made that day. Just when he is about to give up, Tsukasa arrives at his door with marriage papers. They sign, and thus begins the story of their cute marriage life. Tonikawa is a great anime with a soft color palette over animation that kinda warms and calms you as you watch. The story is simple, cute, and the interactions of Nasa and Tsukasa as they warm up to each other in their newlywed life are just adorable. The series itself has so much charm and character to it, to Nasa being refreshingly bold with his feelings, unlike many other anime protagonists, but also shy at times as he does not know how he should approach romantic situations, to the straightforward, kind, and reserved personality of Tsukasa, who begins to open up throughout the series, showing hilarious sides to her personality, such as her otakuness to film culture. Definitely a great series to watch for these two, one of my favorite couples in recent anime. Bonus couple, Takumi and his 86. There's a lot more couples that I love in anime, and maybe I'll explore their relationships in another video in the future. But as for today, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, likes and subs, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye!